Most people think death is a sudden event that catches everyone by surprise, but your body actually starts sending very specific signals exactly one day before the end. Understanding these signs isn't about being scared or morbid. It is actually about being prepared for a natural process that every human being eventually goes through. In the next few minutes, we are going to look at the three major physical shifts that occur in those final 24 hours so you can recognize what is happening. The first major change you will notice is a very specific type of breathing called Cheyne Stokes, which sounds like a series of deep breaths followed by long pauses. Imagine someone breathing heavily for a few seconds and then suddenly stopping for up to half a minute, making it seem like they have already passed away. This happens because the part of the brain that controls your lungs is starting to slow down and lose its steady rhythm as the body prepares to rest. It can be very distressing for family members to watch, but doctors often say the person isn't in pain and is actually in a very deep state of sleep. The second symptom is something often called the death rattle, which is a wet, gurgling sound that happens when someone breathes through their mouth. This occurs because the person is no longer strong enough to clear the normal fluids that sit in the back of their throat or in their lungs. While it sounds like the person is choking or struggling, they are usually completely unaware of the noise and aren't feeling any of the discomfort we might imagine. Hospice nurses often suggest turning the person onto their side to help quiet the sound, which can provide a lot of emotional relief for everyone in the room. The third major sign is something called mottling, where the skin on the hands and feet starts to look blotchy, purple, or even blue. This happens because the heart is focusing all its remaining energy on keeping the brain and vital organs alive, leaving the limbs without much blood flow. If you touch their hands or feet during this time, they will likely feel very cold to the touch, almost like they have been resting in a chilly room. One of the biggest challenges people face during this 24-hour window is the emotional roller coaster caused by a sudden burst of energy. You might see someone who hasn't spoken in days suddenly sit up, ask for their favorite meal, or recognize everyone in the room with total clarity. This is often called terminal lucidity, and while it feels like a miracle, it is usually the body's final way of saying goodbye before the end. It can be heartbreaking because it gives families a false sense of hope that their loved one is actually getting better and will recover. When this happens, it is important to use those moments for final words and comfort, rather than focusing on medical treatments or food they cannot digest. Medical studies show that even when someone can't speak or move, their sense of hearing is often the very last thing to stop working. This means that even in those final 24 hours, the person can likely hear the voices of their friends and family members talking to them. Experts recommend staying in the room and sharing stories or playing soft music because that familiarity can lower the person's heart rate and keep them calm. The real climax of this process is the moment when the body finally reaches a state of total stillness, where the breathing stops and the face relaxes. There is often a profound sense of peace that follows these 24 hours of physical changes, marking the end of the body's long and hard work. Knowing these three symptoms, the breathing patterns, the sounds, and the skin changes, helps remove the mystery and the fear from a very difficult situation. It allows you to focus on being present and supportive instead of being panicked by the strange things the human body does as it shuts down naturally. Death is just as much a part of life as birth, and your body knows exactly what to do when the time comes to finish its journey. If you want to know what actually happens to the brain during those final moments, click the video on the screen right now to keep learning.